back after you jump to catch you. So that's a really big one too. We're also going to have a party at the end of the week and a celebration dinner. So a lot of people like to dress a little bit nicer for that. Nicer meaning not wearing our nasty t-shirts that we've been wearing all week, and maybe showering before dinner so we smell a little less bad that day. Maybe wearing like a nicer t-shirt that doesn't have holes in it, and like sandals rather than like your smelly chacos, your shirts that are all ripped up and muddy. Doesn't have to be fancy at all. Don't wear a dress, nothing like that. You can just wear your regular clothes too, but some people like to do that. So for any parents who are on after the campers go to bed, I'll have a chance to get on the Wi-Fi, and every night I will be sending an email to all the parents, just recapping the day and adding a few pictures and answering any questions that parents have. I won't have Wi-Fi at all times. I only have it when I'm in Mi Casa, but I'll try to check my email as much as I can. We'll also have a camp Twitter account that you can follow that I'll try to tweet pictures to as often as I can, but I won't be able to check it all the time when we're off on hikes and things like that. If there's an emergency, there would definitely be a way for us to get in contact though. What am I missing? Make sure, well, all of that is on I don't need to go over that. The only thing that's not on the packing list is an outfit for celebration dinner if you would like to pack that. Cell phones are not allowed. If you would like to bring your cell phone on the bus, we will collect them just once we get to camp, and then I'll pass them back out once we get back on the bus. But we don't need cell phones after this year of technology. We waited 2 years for camp. We need to unplug for a little while. We need to hang out with each other. We need to hang out in the wilderness. We need to get away from all of that. Give our brains a break from that. I am personally, and I know the counselors are too, we talked about this, so excited to get away from the real world that we've been having to deal with for so long and get a break from that. I think that's all on my side. I think everything else is covered on the packing list that Peyton is going to go over next. So I'll let Peyton go ahead and go over the packing list. And then if we have questions after that, then y'all can send them in the chat and we can answer questions after we go over the packing list.
All right, cool. So for Echo, what you're going to want to bring is like one big, large duffel bag. And there you'll include like your shorts, t-shirts, and then a couple swimming suits. At Camp Eagle, where we run Echo, as some of y'all might know, the rule for girls is you have to wear a one-piece swimsuit. So make sure you have one pieces. Next, you're going to want to bring some tennis shoes. I recommend bringing 2 pairs because also we walk around a lot and like you might get them wet one day or they might get dirty and you might want to have a different pair to wear. Also, hiking boots. If you have a pair of hiking boots, that's awesome to bring. I wouldn't get them like the day or two before we go to Echo because if you wear hiking boots and walk around with them when they're brand new, you're going to get blisters and that's going to be no fun. So make sure if you have hiking boots, they're worn in before you bring them to camp. And then definitely if you have Tivas or Chacos, bring those. Those are like the perfect camp shoe, obviously, because you can wear them in the water. You can wear them walking around. They're just great for everything. I wouldn't bring flip-flops, though. Flip-flops are just not great because they obviously break really easily, and there's no support for your ankle. You don't want you to like step on a rock and twist an ankle wearing flip-flops. And then bring lots of underwear and socks, of course. A pair of jeans or pants in case it gets cold in the nights. I would only bring one of those. No need for more than one pair of jeans or pants. One of the days we're going to be doing tie-dye, so make sure you bring a white t-shirt for that. And if it rains one day, you should bring a rain jacket or a parka or poncho, something like that, just in case you can have that for the rain. This is super important, obviously. Sunscreen. Make sure you pack a ton of sunscreen. I would use the spray kind. That's what we recommend, just because it's really easy to get it on you real quick, so we can get the day going. Next, a large laundry bag for dirty clothes. Something breathable. That way it doesn't get smelly. So that we can throw your clothes in there. So for the buses from Houston and Austin to Camp Eagle, you're going to want to bring a sack lunch and like a drink for the ride, just because it's not a super long bus ride. It's only like 2.5 hours. But if you get hungry, obviously you're going to want to have some food to eat and a drink. So bring a sack lunch and a water bottle or something like that for the bus. For medication, so when you have your medication, I'm sure Lizzie will elaborate on this too if she needs, but for medication, you're going to bring it to drop off, and you're going to need to have your medication form with you, the medical dosage form filled out. All medications need to be in their original container. It doesn't need to be like a new container, like a fresh container, but it needs to be the original container. So that's important also. Obviously, when we get to camp, it's going to be super hot, so we're going to need to bring at least 2 water bottles. You won't need to carry around 2 at all times, but in case one breaks or something, you're going to want to have an extra one. We recommend like the Nalgene's or the Hydro Flasks, especially the wide mouth ones. That way, Lizzie's the one Lizzie's holding right there. The wide mouth ones are better because that way you can just throw ice in there way easier and keep your drink cold. And the thin ones are just like way hard to get all ice in, and it takes way more time to fill up. Next, you're gonna want to bring a backpack to carry on your stuff, like your water bottle, sunscreen, towels, all that type of stuff. And then your signed Camp Eagle release forms. These should have already been emailed to parents. If you don't have it or you're confused, if you are not sure if you sent it in or not, just email the office or call the office, and they can help you out with that. No problem there. Next, so Camp Eagle does not supply bedding for us. So you need to bring bedding, including a pillow, sheets, blanket will work, or what I recommend is bring like a sheet, just like one sheet and a sleeping bag and a pillow. That way you just throw your sheet on the bed and then throw your sleeping bag on top of that and pop the sleeping bag, and it's really easy. You don't need to like be making your bed every day. So that works great. Next, a flashlight or a headlamp with some fresh batteries. In the flashlight or headlamp, bring that with you. We will be walking around at night sometimes, so it's always great, especially out there in the wilderness, to have a light so that way you can see where you're going. And we'll have them too. If you forget one, it's not a big deal, but if you have one, bring it. That would be great. Also, in addition to all your toiletries and stuff, you will need to bring like a bath towel and a beach towel if you want to have a beach towel for drying off after the river, etc. So bring those. Some optional items you can bring, like the disposable camera. Those are always great. We're going to be taking pictures, y'all, or listening to taking pictures and sending the parents. But if you want to have one also just for yourself to take your own pictures, that's totally fine with us. So, I recommend the disposable one though, because you're out in the wilderness and you don't want to be carrying around a nice camera, obviously. And then a journal too is always great, especially at night when you're just chilling out on the porch of mi casa or of your cabins. You have a journal. You can just write down your thoughts, all that stuff. That's always great. Snacks are always a good option too. Make sure if you bring snacks though, put them in resealable containers. Obviously out there's animals and bugs, and we don't want them getting into your snacks and ruining your snacks for you. And then lastly, for optional items, bring a book if you'd like. Obviously we're going to be busy a lot of time, but there will be downtimes maybe at the end of the day where you could write a journal or read a book. That's always really relaxing at the end of a long hot day. As Lizzie touched on, what we don't want y'all to bring is mobile phones. I know that me and the other counselors won't even have our phones on us either. Like, we're trying to unplug just like you are. So don't bring your phones. Let's all just be together in the moment, have a good time. Don't bring electronic device like gaming devices like Switch, DS, those sort of things. And then matches, knives, or fireworks. Don't bring stuff like that. Even though we're going camping and stuff, especially on the camping night, don't worry about bringing like stuff physically for camping, like tent and stuff. Camp Eagle supplies all that type of stuff for us, so they've got.
But you need a sleeping bag for that night.
Correct.
They supply us a sleeping pad, and then.
But you need a sleep. We need sleep. You need to. Everyone has to bring their own sleeping bag.
Yes, camping. Yes, so you have like a sleeping pad to lay on the ground, and then you put your sleeping bag on top of that.
Yep. So let me kind of just disseminate between a backpack. When Peyton means bring a backpack, that's like a school-sized backpack, right? To carry around their towel, sunscreen, water bottle, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
when you go on a backcountry hike and camp, External frame backpacks will be provided for the kids, as well as sleeping pad and tents. Okay. All that technical stuff will be provided for your camper. Okay. For you guys. That same sleeping bag and sheet and pillow, for example, that you have in your cabin, that'll be packed in that backpack for that overnight trip as well. Okay. So we just encourage kids to bring that sleeping bag, and they'll use that same sleeping bag for that overnight, one night trip. Okay. Does everybody get that?
So they don't have to take, so in their backpack that they're traveling with, they will have their sleeping bag and their sheets in there, and then they're going to transfer that into their large backpack that they're going to be walking with and camping.
You got it. Yeah, right. Exactly, Claudia. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for helping with that. Yeah, you know, and we live in shorts and swimsuits. You know, that's what we live in. I have a lot of kids that will pack like for 2 months, and you can bring as much clothes as you feel comfortable with. But just keep in mind that it's real simple in terms of the stuff that we wear around camp. Unlike our day camps, they don't have to wear a camp shirt. They're going to get a free overnight camp shirt that's included. They'll get that when they get there at camp. Every year, it's a unique shirt for them. What else am I missing, Lizzie?
You can pack as much as you want, as long as you can carry it from the bus to your cabin.
There you go.
I'm going to hit on meds. I know Peyton talked about that a little bit. Any meds that you bring, make sure that you don't pack them deep down into your suitcase. Make sure you have them out and ready for when you check in at the bus stop, because I'll be putting those in a big box with all the other meds and checking the medical dosage form to make sure I have all the information right before we take off. So just don't shove it to the bottom of your suitcase and then have to empty out your suitcase at the bus stop to get your medicine out. If you have prescribed medicine that you take every day, you'll just write out the information on the form. If you want to bring like ibuprofen or Benadryl or things like that you just want as needed, you can pack those as well, and you'll just write on the form as needed. So if you ever feel like you need one of those, we'll have them there to get to you.
And I'll use what Lizzie's talking about with regards to medications to segue into medical care. So all of our staff are first aid and CPR certified. That's one of the many prerequisites that our staff has. In addition to that, we have a full-time camp nurse on site. So if our kids are feeling ill, if they're injured, something like that, we'll simply, and it rises above us, we'll simply go to that nurse and have them help out with that, okay? Just so everybody is clear on that.
The Camp Eagle guides that will be with us at all times as well are also wilderness first aid certified.
All right, I think I want to jump into some questions now. And I think what I'll do is I'll start with the chat. And if you want to unmute and throw a question out there too as well, we'll certainly take that. The first question goes back to the packing list, talks about should we pack towels? The answer to that question is yes, and toiletries. So yeah, we actually do make our kids shower at camp. We're going to be spending a lot of time together. We want to enjoy each other to their fullest extent. So yes, even boys, we make you shower. Okay. I know, hang that head down. Think about that for a second. But you got to take a shower. You got to hose off somehow, some way. There's really no prohibited toiletries. People ask about razors for shaving. I've never had an issue with that in 27 years. If you need to shave out there, that's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. Okay.
The bathrooms are they're in a bathhouse that's not connected to the cabins. So they're right next to it. You can see the bathhouse from the cabins, but you do have to walk from the cabin on a little trail to get to the bathhouse.
Okay. Other questions, everybody? Anybody campers? Y'all have any questions?
Are the showers enclosed, or are they like open for everybody?
They're private showers.
Okay.
Yeah, they're private showers. They kind of have, it's kind of like there's a private shower, and then outside the private shower, there's another little seating area and changing area that's also private too as well.
Okay.
Great question.
One more question, sorry.
Sure.
So they can take a carry-on As long as they can carry it from the bus to the campsite, right? They can take a small carry-on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like it could be their backpack. I'm thinking.
Say that again.
It can be their backpack that they carry on their bus.
Yeah, and that's typically what most kids do. Okay, is that same little backpack, like the size of a school backpack, that's what most kids bring on the bus with their lunch in. And that's what we also use to put water, towel, sunscreen when we're headed down to the river or we're going over to the ropes course or something like that.
Okay. What can you, I'm sure it's on an email. What's the wake up time and bedtime again?
Wake up time is around 7 or 7:30. Breakfast starts at 8 o'clock. And then bedtime is at 10 o'clock.
Great.
We usually don't have any problem with kids falling asleep at 10 o'clock, by the way.
I'm sure. Okay. Do you have any more materials?
Are Camelbacks recommended, or just the Hydro Flask? Look, I have some kids that come with Camelbacks. That's totally fine. I'm happy with Camelbacks, or I'm happy with the Hydro Flask or the Nalgene. I think the big thing there is volume, right? Having at least a liter or 2 liter bottle, and then having a big mouth on it. And both the Camelback and the Nalgenes and the Hydro Flasks, at least the ones that have the big mouth, are much better, just because we can shove a bunch of ice in there. The key with hydration at camp is starting early, right? And getting hydrated early so we stay ahead of the curve. We're pushing water all the time, and we're refilling all the time, and we have water stations all over the ranch. But having a big water bottle with which to do that makes that so much easier. Where can I find the medication form? I believe I put it on the app. But if I didn't, or you don't see it on there, just give us a call at the office. We'll email that to you. Okay. Not a big deal. And we'll have extras if for some reason you forget or at the last minute you decide you want to go with ibuprofen or Benadryl or whatever. We'll have extra copies at the bus in the morning, and we can get those things filled out for you too there. No worries.
Are we communicating at all through the app, or is it an email that's going to come from Lizzie?
So the app is a one-way street. Okay. We'll post pictures, we'll post videos, we'll send you notifications, those kind of things. The email that Lizzie sends every night, you can reply to that.
Okay.
And if
And
you
there's a
ever have
landline there.
questions,
We'll provide you with the number of a landline. Okay. So you could always get a hold of us in that sense. All right. What type of snacks are recommended? I don't know, counselors. What do y'all like to eat?
I would like snacks to be packed for all counselors, including chocolate chip cookies and brownies.
Yeah. Or chocolate filled, peanut butter filled pretzel. Those are good too. Cliff bars.
I heard ice cream holds up really well out there.
Yeah, dipping dots do not do well, so don't send that. A lot of kids will bring it doesn't matter. Just stuff that doesn't melt.
And I would bring like Cliff bars. Cliff bars are always great, especially for out on the trail. Trail mix is really good.
Granola.
Just stuff like that. So that's like you individually pack it so you can throw in your backpack for the day. And when you walk down to the trail or walk to the river, you just have something to take out of your bag and eat real quick. Stuff like that.
Our meals are big too. You will have plenty of food available.
Yeah, I will tell you that one of the, at least for me, one of the things I love most about Echo is the food. I mean, everything is made from scratch. We get a lot of it. It's kind of family style. If your child has food allergies or sensitivities and you didn't put that on the registration form, you need to let us know sooner than later so that we can get with the chef there and we can make sure we accommodate you guys. Okay.
Yeah, the food is nothing short of spectacular. Especially when you've been hiking in the sun all day. The food is amazing.
Okay, there's a question here. Okay, if you were not dropping off in either Houston or Austin, or picking up in Houston or picking up in, like, I have a couple situations where I have a family that's going to be getting back late on vacation, so they're actually going to drop off at Eagle. I've gotten with them and given the address and the directions there. If that's you, let us know, and we'll make accommodations for you guys and have a plan to meet you and give you the address and those kind of things. Okay. If you're dropping off in Houston and you're dropping off in Austin, those addresses are on the itinerary, and the times are on there too as well. We're gonna double back with everybody before the 5th, just to make sure we're really clear about who's Houston, who's Austin, or who has a weird situation like dropping off at camp. Okay, so we'll be reaching out to you in the next week or so. Okay, just to double check.
Or if you know that someone else is going to be picking them up, we'll get that name as well so that we have their information to clear them for pickup.
I will tell you, though, that when the bus leaves at 9 o'clock in the morning, the bus leaves at 9 o'clock in the morning. So make sure you guys plan for that. And then the same thing, I think the bus rolls out of Austin around noon, I think is what it says on the itinerary there too. Okay, guys? All right. Any other questions? Campers, do y'all have anything? No one's asked about bears or mountain lions yet. Do we have any questions about bears or mountain lions? Okay. Good.
Hey, real quick.
Sure.
This is our first camp. My stepson's 13. This is his first year. And there's a little bit of anxiety going on here. So we're just kind of trying to understand what you guys do to help the campers that might have a little bit of anxiety, or, help them adjust to this type of stuff they're not quite used to.
It's a great question, and thank you for bringing that up. We understand that going to overnight camp comes with it some fear and some trepidation. I think that's part of the experience. For most kids that come to camp for the first time, everybody has some level of that. And I think that's what ultimately makes that experience so powerful and so rewarding, is getting on the other side of that. One of the reasons we do the trip on the bus is so that we can address that, right? I think it's a lot different than you driving your kid to camp, dropping them off. I mean, even as an adult, if you go to a party and you don't know anybody and you walk up to the door and ring the doorbell, you have that same sort of trepidation to a certain extent. Taking that bus ride up, doing name games, messing around the bus and having fun and playing games sort of breaks that down for these kids. And I think even more right now, I think for the majority of our kids, we've experienced the last 15, 16 months kind of not in those situations where we're socializing like we normally do and getting together like we normally do. So we're sensitive to that. And our goal from the get-go is to make those kids feel at home and make them feel part of a larger group. And we're going to do what it takes to make them feel that way. One of the reasons we only take 40 kids to Echo is that reason. I want your kid to go home with 39 friends that they're going to remember for the rest of their life, whether or not they do anything with them again. And that's really that's the main thing, is to put them in a place that maybe they have a little trepidation or fear about, and use that to get them to a place where they feel more confident, more independent, more good about themselves. And so we're going to work real hard from the get-go to make that happen. Okay.
We got a lot on the schedule too. There's not a lot of downtime to sit and think about what's going on outside of camp. It's pretty go the whole time. And a lot of times everyone has anxiety about that first thing that they have to do that they're worried about. It could be the swim test, or it could be the zip line. It could be spending the night in the cabins. But a lot of times what I see is after they get past that one first hard thing, it's go time after that. And they're down for all of it and they're ready to go.
Yeah, and I'll speak to the campers specifically right now. I will tell you guys from 27 years experience, look, being 13, 14, 15, 16 years old is really kind of hard. It's challenging to be that age, right? But the kids that come to Echo, a lot of the kids who come back every year because they feel so comfortable there, because they feel like they have a place where they feel like they belong, and that people value them, and they have a great place there. And I think that's a testament to sort of getting out of your normal routine and away from the city and away from devices and screens, and creating some great friendships. So I feel very confident that that same experience, you'll have that same experience, and you'll benefit from that, and love that time there at Echo. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi. I was wondering, my sister's a camper, and our first language is not English, and she was like kind of nervous about it. Like maybe she doesn't understand a thing the first time around or something. Like, is that okay? Like, can things get like repeated to her or stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm also recording this right now too, as well, and I'll send it out to everybody in the next 24 hours. So if she wants to look at this again and listen to it again, and I'm happy to. And if she needs me to put her in touch with is it Spanish?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can also help you with that too as well, and answer her questions in Espanol. Okay.
No, it's fine. No, I want her to speak English. I just in case she needs something to like repeat it or something.
Sure, you got it. Any other questions? How many kids to a cabin? 10. 10 kids to a cabin.
And they'll be divided, but the 13 and 14-year-old girls will be together. 15 and 16-year-old girls will be together. 13 and 14-year-old boys in a cabin. 15 and 16-year-old boys in a cabin.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so I have a kind of embarrassing question.
Sure.
I don't know if I registered my kid for the Houston or Austin one. So
Yeah.
will you guys send that email to me?
Yeah, do this. Why don't you do this tomorrow? Call the office and ask for Kristen.
Okay.
It's
This number right here, right?
Yeah, there you go. And then she'll go in there and check for you. If you didn't put anything in there, she'll put it in there for you.
Okay. Thanks.
Let us take care of that for you. Don't even try to go in the system and do it, okay? We'll make sure it happens for you. And that was not an embarrassing question, by the way. That was a good question, for the record. Anything else? Any other really embarrassing questions? Because we love really embarrassing questions, too.
I see a question about the cabins being air conditioned or not. Cabins that we're staying in are not air conditioned, but they are built to be really aerated, where the air flows through really easily. So they do stay relatively cool. If you want, what I do is I bring like a clip-on fan, like a battery-powered fan. You can bring one of those too. These like clip on the edge of your bed. But yeah, that's not bad at all.
No, the cabins are very comfortable. I don't have kids complain about the temperature there. They're actually really nice.
And after the first night, you're so tired, it doesn't even matter. You don't even notice it.
Right. If you have not downloaded the app, I urge you to download the app, okay? And when you go in there, if you go into the My Camp setting, you can just save Echo in there. It's defaulted to have all 3 programs in there, but if you go to more and then My Camp setting, just click on Echo, and then you'll just get Echo info, right? Unless you really want to get Quest, or you have another kid in another program too as well, okay? Because we'll be using that app to post pictures and video and all sorts of good stuff for you guys, okay?
Here's a really good question in the chat. Someone said, if you have a kiddo that does not want to do one of the events planned during the week, is there an alternative?
Okay, that's a great question. First of all, everything is challenged by choice. That's what we call it. That's our philosophy. We will not make your child do anything that they do not feel comfortable doing. That's not the point of camp, okay? However, we're really good at encouraging kids and getting them to step out of their comfort zone a little bit, because we know the benefits on the backside of that are great. But at the end of the day, no. We'll alter their schedule where needed. We're not going to create a brand new schedule for them that's customized for them. But we will make sure that they're successful in what they do, okay?
Got it. Okay.
Cool. All right, I'm scanning for any other questions. Just because go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. Obviously, hoping nothing happens, but where is the nearest hospital if something happens?
San Antonio is our closest big hospital. And we have never had a major incident at camp, but we do have an agreement that we have a life flight out of there in the event that something happened. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
And then once again, we also have a camp nurse on site there too as well. It's a great question.
Okay.
So I don't know if I downloaded the wrong app or, but I can't, so I've got the Kid Venture app.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so under the camp settings, I'm getting like All Saints, Camp Frisco. Like I can't figure out.
So the
how
registration, so you have Dallas's location on your app right now. And you just need, and what I can do is I can change it for you on the back end. When you log on to the app, they're asked for a registration code. You must have entered 1994D and not 1994. 1994 is over. Do y'all go to day camp?
Yes, I did. I asked that question online, and I think they told me to put the D. So maybe delete it and just redo it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and if you enter the registration code 1994, then it'll pop up overnight camp only.
Okay, maybe
if
it'll
you-
let me, maybe it
If you're
won't.
challenged with doing that, call me tomorrow at the overnight office, and I'll walk you through it. Okay?
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, that's not a problem at all. I want you to be able to get on that app correctly, and because it's really neat. Okay?
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Did we touch on food allergies or requests?
Yeah, I think I mentioned something. If you have it in your notes, then we'll pass that along. If you didn't, and you have food allergies, then just give us a call once again this week.
Or if you're vegan or anything like that, let us know so we can get meals ready for you, because they are really good at making sure everyone has what meals they need every day.
Okay. What I'd like to do is conclude. This does not mean that you don't have an opportunity to ask questions or give comments. All you got to do is call the office or email us. But you guys are the first session that leaves, and July 5th is going to come up real quick here. So it's kind of time to start plugging in and preparing for that. So please feel free to reach out to us at the office. I'm going to let the counselors sign off, if you don't mind, and let them tell you what they're looking forward to most with regards to the ECHO program. And then it's been great hanging out with you guys tonight. Thank you all for your time. I know it's valuable in the evenings. Great questions, great commentary, and I look forward to seeing you guys, okay, here in a couple weeks, all right? Why don't we start with Ben? You want to holler out to everybody?
I'm most excited for being on the river, swimming, and going on the flop, the blob.
Peyton, go ahead.
I'm just excited to get out there and see some of y'all again and experience camp after not being able to go for the last summer. It's always fun just to watch people push their boundaries a little bit and experience things they don't get to do normally at home, and just gain some confidence in themselves. So yeah, it's gonna be a really great time.
Brooklyn?
I am definitely most excited for the backpacking trip. I think that's going to be a really fun bonding time. And then the party, the last full day of camp, is going to be super fun right after that, too.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Liz, why don't you sign us off?
I'm just excited for the laughs and the stories and the memories that we're going to have when we get there. We're going to have some crazy stories that we come home with. I always love The bus ride there is so quiet. No one is talking to each other. And then the bus ride home, everyone is laughing and crying, and it's loud and fun. And it just shows the memories that we've made throughout the week. So I'm just excited to see what happens when we're all together.
Thanks, Lizzie. I don't know if I mentioned at the front end of this, we're missing Shay tonight. Shay's been with KidVenture for 10 years, and a handful of those years have been spent at our overnight program. And we're super lucky to have Shay back this year. She could not be with us. She's a PE teacher in the Houston area, and she will be the other staff member coming from KidVenture here. Okay. So without further ado, thank you guys very much. Appreciate your time tonight. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening. And feel free to reach out to us over the course of the next couple of weeks prior to our trip, and we'll get you guys all set to go. Look forward to seeing everybody. Okay. Thank you all very much. Bye, guys.
Bye.